but let's focus on something that was of key interest in yesterday's trading session as well. Let's talk about the Mumbai Metro Phase 3. We have with us S. Ramnath, the CFO of ITD Cementation, who joins us to apprise us of all those details. Hi, sir. Thanks so much for joining in. We're aware that, in fact, you emerged as the lowest bidder for Package 4. Give us some details in terms of what was that bid and what exactly is your percentage of that particular bid?
Thank you, Nigel. At the moment, we are L1 in one package.
Correct.
Out of the 7 packages, and we have to await detailed evaluation by the Mumbai Metro authorities. So that is the position, and our tender value is approximately 3,000 crores. Tender value is 3,000 crores, and it covers the stretch between Worli and Mahim.
Right, Mr. Ramnath, but you have 40% stake in that particular JV, I believe. So will that work out to around 1,200 crores? And also, could you give us the execution period? Is it 40 months? Is it 45 months? What is it?
Yeah. As you may be aware, this the entire the entire metro is slated to be completed in about 4 to 5 years. The entire, including stations and all facilities. But I don't expect only tunneling. So the entire of the 3,000 crore contract value, we are in joint venture, as you are aware, with CEC of Taiwan and Tata Projects. Right. And our share in that work should be about 40%, which is 1,200 crores. So you are right in that regard.
Okay, so ITD, go ahead.
I think I would expect about 4 to 5 years completion.
Okay. What could be the margins you could possibly enjoy on this particular project, sir?
Margins will be good. Rima, I don't want to talk about numbers and all that, but margins will be good.
More than 10% at least?
These are, I think, good projects. I would expect so. I would expect so.
Okay. What would be the total capex which you will require for it? Would you need to raise any equity or debt funding for this particular project?
We don't plan to have any, for this specific project, we don't plan to have any equity raising, because this is not that big a project in that sense. And also, I think the requirements will be met through our existing bank facilities that we have. That is in the form of guarantees and any other working capital we'll need to execute the project. As far as capex is concerned, we have a plan to handle that. This project will involve some capital expenditure, but we have already tied up that.
All right. Mr. Ramnath, then, when exactly will this revenue, you're talking about 1,200 crores, when exactly does it start reflecting in your books? Could you give us some idea of that? And also, we have seen in the past there's lots of agitation that these projects face. In that, suppose that happens, then who bears the working capital cost?
This being a tunneling project, Nigel, I do not expect any major displacement of people.
Okay.
Naturally, because this is underground metro, normally you would have issues on alignment and displacement and all that, more in elevated projects.
Okay.
Now, in this particular case, I do not expect major problems, but even so, there could be some areas where we have to have station buildings and access to stations, and also some areas where we need to set up our facilities for managing the project. So that would be temporary. I don't think there are major challenges in this project. And these have been, I think, planned by the metro authorities.
So when would this project start? And would you get any portion of your revenues from this in F517?
I think the project is expected to start by January. I do not expect anything to come this year, that is CY15. But next year and year after, we should see decent revenues coming through.
All right, Mr. Ramnath, then I think you'll be requiring TMBs, that's tunnel boring machines. Am I right on that front?
No, the whole package will require, I think, 3, possibly 4, minimum of 3 to possibly 4 tunnel boring machines. And as I said, we and with our partners, we have already made arrangements for that.
So that will be on an operational lease basis?
Yeah, possibly. We have options. We can look at that if it is viable. We could look at that. We could look at a capex.
Okay.
But between with the joint venture we have, I don't see that as a major problem.
Okay. So what's been the total order booking so far, especially in the quarter gone by, and what would your target be on order booking for the full year?
Now, these, along with some other projects where we are L1, I wouldn't call this, we don't enter these as orders till we get the award actually in our hand. So we are L1 here, and similarly there are a couple of other projects amounting to about 2,300 crores where we are L1. So these would enter our order books in this quarter, most probably, once we receive the awards. So based on this indication, you will see a very robust order growth by end of this year, I think.
All right, Mr. Ramnath, then one final question from my end. You're sounding quite optimistic. Could you give us some update in terms of the JNPT port as well as on the Tuticorin order? Has that come through? Could you just update us on both those two orders?
JNPT work is going on. JNPT, that is the Bharat Mumbai Container Terminal work that is going on at JNP port, is going on well. And Tuticorin, I don't know what you are mentioning in Tuticorin. There are already work going on in Ennore and some other projects that we are L1. As I said, a couple of projects are about 2,200 crores. That also we are expecting the awards to come through by this month or latest next month.
Okay, Mr. We'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining in and speaking to CNBC TV18. So that's ITD Cementation saying that their share in the Mumbai Metro Rail project stands at 1,200 crore. It will be executed in 4 to 5 years starting January 2016. And they expect good margins, at least 10% plus on this particular project.